Well, today is a momentous occasion. We are driving the all-new 2023 Honda Civic Type R, and as you might be able to tell, in the passenger seat is Tedward.
I'm the happiest boy.
Oh my gosh, today's gonna be fantastic.
This is the GT3 of the common folk.
It is. We're gonna find some fun back roads. We're gonna get you guys some first impressions on this car today. We're gonna take it out to the racetrack. We're driving at Sonoma Raceway here in California, a track I've driven hundreds of times on Forza, but never in real life. So we'll see how it goes. We are on the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. We have a 315 horsepower, 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, 310 pound-feet of torque, a little bit more power than the previous gen Type R. Supposedly, Honda has improved every aspect of this car, and today, Tedward and I are going to be the judges of that. All right, let's set off, get some. This is literally the first time I've hopped in the car and put the clutch in and let it out. We are off.
This is already way more than we've been allowed to do
with
this car.
How many walk-arounds have we done on the Type R?
It's painful.
Oh my gosh, and now we're finally getting to drive it. We're starting off in comfort mode. We have comfort, sport, individual, and plus R, which we're going to be reserving for the track.
Oh my goodness. This suspension's already like a world apart from an SI.
It's comfy, isn't it?
It's it's bonkers when we've gone no faster than 30 miles an hour and I'm already like, oh wow. It sounds good. It has like a throatier, beefier sound than like obviously the 1.5 liter. This K20 C1 is no joke.
Let's see what rev matching is like. Definitely crispier than the last Type R, and we're just in comfort mode. Let's see what sport mode does. Ooh, you can definitely feel the suspension stiffen up. Some piped-in engine sound. Love how I'm trying to review this going 25 miles an hour.
I'm already so
excited.
I don't care.
We haven't even gotten out of the resort yet. And of course, Tedward and I have a vested interest in this car.
We're driving our color sake as well.
Yeah. Oh man, we're getting pretty much identical specs next week.
Put so many miles on this car.
I'm a little bit disappointed that it doesn't come with the Alcantara steering wheel from the factory, but it is an option.
Money can solve your problem.
Money can solve lots of problems in this world, including lack of Alcantara steering wheels.
It's interesting not having a sunroof in a Civic because like every Civic we've been in so far as I can recall, has had a sunroof.
Yes.
So now we have the
Slick
lightweight
top.
option, slick top.
I like that. I like a slick top.
Visibility out of the rear is really good.
It is.
And pop on that rear wiper with this guy.
Oh yeah. We have our rear wiper. That's
rear
pretty
wiper
great.
life.
And I can't even see the rear spoiler.
It's pretty good.
Let's turn off some safety stuff here. Let's turn off lane keep assist or road departure mitigation. We are in we're in individual mode. This goes to show Honda listens to their customers and makes changes according to what they ask for, and that's what I love about this new Type R and this 11th generation Civic and what's carried into the FL5 now.
It started with a volume knob on the update on the FK8, and now they give us an individual mode where you can select everything.
You can change everything.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's rigid. This chassis feels so much stiffer.
It really does. There's Alcantara here on your armrest.
This panel right here is very different than the SI.
Yeah. And then there's no red outline here, no lipstick. Ooh, she's quick.
How those brakes feeling?
Brakes feel pretty good. Let's see, we're gonna tweak individual mode a little bit here. I think engine can be in, maybe we'll do sport. Engine sound, turn off all the piped in noises.
Goodness.
Gauges, I like the plus R gauge, that's kind of fun.
It's dope.
Sport, looks like that. Normal or comfort is a little bit of a gray theme.
They really nailed it. Honda's infotainment system is so simple. It's crazy because like comment wise, there are always comments about, oh, I don't like it because it looks like an iPad tacked onto the thing, and I'm like, but it works.
That's the only way to get the screen level with your view, your field of view with the road.
And I regularly use this little ledge to
the
kind
ledge
of
is
like
great.
do that or this.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's very simple, and all your controls are really easy to find.
And you have physical buttons for volume, track selection, a home button.
The home button is, that's the stuff, man.
I mean, I've said it probably about 100 times now in about 10 different Civic videos. Honda got the ergonomics just about perfect in this cabin.
It's dead on, because I spent a lot of time in like the RAV4, and I don't like that infotainment system.
The only thing that's a little bit funny with this Type R is we have a blank switch right here, which would normally be the stop-start on-off. It'd be really nice if they could make that rev matching on-off.
That would be a hot ticket.
That would be the move. Torque. Look how aggressive it is on the street. It's so wide. Very little rev hang. That's a good thing.
I'm very happy.
Always a nice difference between the Type R and the SI is that Honda gets rid of the rev hang. It's responsive.
I'm just blown away. The torque is already like really getting me excited.
Yeah. Shifter feels a lot better. So there's instead of like a crunch when the transmission is cold.
This is a brutal assessment, but okay.
the FK8 was a little crunchy.
Yeah, that is
even
that is
under
true.
normal smooth driving. This has a little bit of a softness to it. It's a little rubberier. It's still just perfect. Feel that. Clutch is in.
Yeah, that's legit.
Yeah, it's better.
Rev hang seems fairly minimal.
It's pretty minimal, yeah. You can tell where they've tweaked and tuned this engine. You look at the torque and horsepower graph between the FL5 and the FK8. It's just a small bump everywhere throughout the rev range.
Look at the physical size of these wheels and tires. Like, it's so cool that we get to drive it while looking at one.
Yeah. It has a crazy good stance. Plus R mode. See what it's like.
I just want to hear like the fake noise.
Oh, it's bad. It's not good.
No,
it's not good.
I mean, what did we expect?
I know.
This is not slow.
It's not slow. Plus R mode isn't as stiff as I thought it would be. You look at some of the track videos and people are like just bouncing all over the seats.
I got so scared when I saw the first ride-along videos.
This is plus R mode and it's not unpalatable. I mean, of course, the advantage to having that piped-in sound is that you can hear the car better on track. But I think, honestly, the first thing I'm going to do when I take delivery of mine is I'm going to pull everything out, disconnect that module, and it does open up the exhaust, so you should have a little bit louder exhaust with the valve setup too. It opens that center tip to just go straight through.
We have the torque.
We do have the torque.
Brake. Yes.
Close-up view.
Into it.
I want to do some rev matching myself because the throttle it's so responsive. Let's go back into individual.
Yeah, that piped in sound's a little brutal.
It is.
I love the third brake light.
It's
That
so cool.
looks good. Man, this thing looks so mean as a hatchback. Holy cow. It's wild because people have had a lot to say about this car and how it's been sanitized versus the FK8, but the real situation is the more I'm looking at this car, like the more I'm seeing a severe Japanese influence in style in this car, especially from the rear. It's fantastic.
Let's see, we turned off auto rev match. And this is comfort mode, it's perfect. Let's see what sport mode does. Yeah, just the perfect amount of power so that you can feel just a bit of wheel slip.
Yeah, it's a little bit of scramble.
Yeah.
I like it. This car corner's so flat.
It's really impressive. Yeah, it's
You
good.
get a sense of where the grip level is just on throttle. Like,
Yep.
you could tell there was a big change. Look at that.
That's one thing I really like about front-wheel drive cars is you can really suss out your levels of mechanical grip just with on-throttle application. If you have some power like this, even more so. Feel that?
Yeah.
It's a little greasy out today.
It's pretty greasy. It's wild too because, you know, where it's shady, obviously it's greasier. But this does so much work in that mid-range. Like when you're going for that downshift to get the revs up, it's like almost completely unnecessary. Everything
It's
is
punchy. Yeah, above $4,000 or above $3,000 actually, it pulls great. Like you're right at that traction limit, at least this morning. Nice steering feel too. Oh man. Honda made all the right moves here. Let's go into sport mode. And I can even feel like the adjustability with this chassis off throttle, getting that nose tucked in a little bit.
Can you believe this is the way to the racetrack?
I know, this is amazing. I think we're gonna get some liftoff oversteer around Sonoma today.
100%.
I am gonna live in individual mode today. I feel like it's so nice to have that adjustability. The preset drive modes are nice, but for the conditions we have this morning, we want softer suspension.
Did individual mode bring back rev matching, or is it still off?
It's still off.
Okay.
So if it's off, it's off. It
Okay.
stays that way. All right, so one of my few complaints is with this new generation, Honda didn't give us a button to turn on and off rev matching, even though this would have been the perfect spot. So let's time how long it takes to turn on and off rev matching. You have to be at a stop, parking brake engaged. We're gonna hit home, go to vehicle settings, driver assist system, scroll to the bottom, very bottom, rev match system on, and then back into wherever we were previously. So about the time it takes to sit at a traffic light to turn on and off rev matching. Would love to see that improved in some capacity, but honestly, this car's so good to drive without rev matching now that I think I might just live with it off. But we're gonna test it a little bit more in this video so you guys can see what it's like.
It is an unforgiving wall.
It's very much there and very stable. Yeah, we're gingerly driving through this back road today. A very bumpy section through here.
What do you have the suspension setting in now?
This is an individual again, so we are...
This is comfort?
This is comfort.
It is pretty bumpy.
It is bumpy.
It's putting the wheels back down, though.
Yeah. Well, also I read that this damper system kind of adjusts according to the conditions a little bit too, so it might be doing some active stuff in comfort mode, even though it should be in its softest setting. It's not floaty. It still works great for this type of driving, though. I actually kind of like that you can leave it in some of the least aggressive settings that are comfortable to daily drive in, but those will hold up under some spirited sections of road.
Woohoo!
There we go. Little trail brake in.
Tells you how greasy it is.
Touch of ABS. Yeah, especially on the downhill. Dude, it's so good.
You can just feel everything happening around you. Like it's
Yeah.
communicating all of the things.
You said in the beginning of the video, this is the front-wheel drive GT3. It really is. Like, there's so much feedback here, so much information coming through the steering, the shifter, the brake pedal, your seat. Oh gosh, you gotta talk about these seats for a minute. I think they're more comfortable than the last gen, and they're better bolstered, and they're easier to get in and out of, and they look better.
They've sort of disappeared around me. Like I'm not
Yeah.
thinking about them, and that's good because they're doing their job.
Driving position is perfect. Steering wheel adjustment is really nice. Lots of adjustability here. Rev matching does work a lot better.
I honestly, it might sound lazy. It might sound like I'm not a real one, but I leave it on in my car. I really do like the rev matching system in the Hondas. The SI, I always use it for one specific reason, and it's because the throttle response isn't dead on.
Yes.
So it's like, well, let the car do it.
Here,
Because if I'm going to miss it all the time.
it is, and you don't miss it all the time. You get it right enough to make it satisfying to do it yourself. So I think that's kind of the difference here, is that rev matching, heel towing yourself works really well on this new Type R, and you don't really need that system as much, unless if I can see the case for it on track, or if you just kind of want to relax a little bit. Personally, if I'm in a car that is doing rev matching for a while, my heel and toe skills will kind of get obliterated for the next day or so. So I like to keep those sharp if I can. But yeah, again, it's nice to have that option for personal preference. I cannot wait to get this out on track.
That is such a hilariously unsubtle and unrefined shift noise. It's like, ah! It sounds like a weather alert.
Yeah, that's right. Saturday morning at 1 p.m.
Like, this is a test.
Yeah. Gotta say, driving a Type R makes you forget about a lot of all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive cars out there. On this road, on a day like today, I don't think there's much else I would want to drive.
God, this car's good.
All right, let's just do a casual 0 to 60 here. Second gear tops out at 63. Third gear pulls like a freight train. And as long as you're sitting at around 3,000 RPM, so does every other gear. The torque here is just fantastic. Honda's classic 6-speed manual shifter feel, but with a bit more accuracy and strength. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It just feels stronger. And these brakes too. Oh man, it's slippery out this morning, so we haven't really gotten into the brakes very much. But those front Brembos really grab. Has a lot of nice initial bite from the pad compound.
Airborne.
Confirm the Type R jumps very well.
Like a cat.
Yeah.
Landed on all fours.
Oh man. This thing's quick, man. All right, we're back. Tedward's driven the car finally. Let him have some left seat time. And guys, we are blown away with this Type R. We keep making comparisons to Porsches, and that's where we've ended up today.
It's just insane. This thing is genuinely fun. This is a great vehicle to drive.
There's not a lot under 100 grand that gives you this visceral driving feel, this tactility, this level of satisfaction, this dopamine hit. It's insane.
I'm really blown away here. The limits are shocking. And the confidence it gives you with those limits, that's where it's at. Oh my God. All right, easy on this. This is shit everywhere, you nuts.
And mostly everything is in comfort mode right now.
Well, the suspension is incredible.
It's amazing.
And what's great about it is that, like, you're able to go and do this, and it doesn't beat you up when you're driving normally. Like, this is going to be a proper all-rounder.
This can do a lot.
Wow. There was a lot happening right there.
Did you feel that rear wheel lift?
That will never translate on camera, but what I just felt was incredible. It is a bit bumpy, but
the suspension is always making adjustments. It is always working in the background. Comfort mode isn't just a set damper setting. It's adjusting according to steering angle and throttle input and brake input and how it's sensing what's going on with the road. So that makes comfort mode a usable drive setting under performance driving situations on bumpier sections of road, on bumpier racetracks, on bumpier back roads, which I think is really nice because in the FK8, comfort was a little bit floaty and the car was a little bit too dull at the limit, and this just, it minimizes body roll, it keeps it in check, and if you want to dial it up into Plus R, I was actually really worried about this before driving this car. I thought Plus R was going to just be overly stiff, like Focus RS stuff, in the sense that you're actually losing grip, you're losing traction, and the tires are bouncing over bumps, but it's not really the case. There is not much else that satisfies on this level south of, a Miata, a GT3, a 718 Cayman or Boxster Spider or GT4. Like, this is it. This is one of the greats.
I was not expecting this engine to be so responsive. I was not expecting it to behave as outrageously as it does. I was expecting a car that was going to have the chops, that was going to get the job done, but I wasn't expecting it to be this rewarding with this much feedback, with this level of like engagement.
All of my inputs here are just insanely good.
Like, everything comes back to you nicely. You're never questioning what's going on.
New cars just don't feel like this anymore.
That's the takeaway.
Yeah.
This really does give me, like, I'm not trying to blow too much smoke, but like I don't know that I'm ever gonna buy a Caterham, but like the fun that I'm having in this car is sort of Caterham levels, where I'm like, wow, like I'm doing the thing and I'm getting it back.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. Oh man, this road's pretty dicey.
I know.
Careful. Yeah, I think the steering is beyond. I mean, this thing, I drive an 11th gen Civic Si, so like I've got a day-to-day experience with this chassis, and I was like, you know, there are things about that chassis that I don't love. I think that like high-speed cornering is a little sketchy in that car. I think like a transition in that car always feels a little wobbly. Not in a bad way, not in a way that's like, oh my god, it's unacceptable. It's just that like, well, how can you take this and make it the supreme front-wheel drive king?
Yeah.
And they've done it. Like, I don't know that I am the person to know how and why and all the things. I don't care. I just know that I enjoy driving it. Jeez, man.
This widens the gap between SI and Type R more than I thought was possible.
Agreed.
It's unflappable. It's just, It does things that are intuitive but surprising at the same time. Like, you can hop into this, go crazy right off the bat. It gives you so much confidence. It's not unwieldy, it's not sketchy, it's not going to catch you out. You know exactly what the chassis is doing. You get so much feel that you can kind of predict what's happening. You can get a good idea of levels of grip. If you need to back off or make changes to throttle, it's responsive, it can do it. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, this is one that you got to drive to believe.
Yeah.
I am actually concerned that videos will not show how I feel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just know that I did the thing and I felt good about it. I really enjoy this car. I'm really impressed with Honda. I'm really proud of them, frankly.
Oh my gosh.
And
This
I'm proud.
might actually be worth some of the markups that are out there right now.
It's
Really,
crazy.
not a lot of cars I can say that about. Yeah.
Just want this to be airborne, don't you?
It does do a good job joining the Society of Flying Cars. And there's rotation here, even at low speeds. 15, 20 miles an hour at a lot of lock of steering around a cambered corner like this. You can feel this kind of cock a wheel and skid around it. I wonder how that's going to translate to higher speed stuff on track. I bet it's going to be really neutral.
What I love about it too is that, like, a lot of people have been talking about the rotation of this car, and it made me nervous because I thought, ooh, like, I know everyone likes to be like, ooh, it'll go sideways. To me, I'm like, yeah, but does that mean it's stable? Like, what does that mean? And I'm like, oh my god, it's so planted.
Does it translate to balance? Does it translate to performance?
It just translates to turn it.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh, and then stand on the throttle and drag your way out. It's incredible.
The diff is better in this new Type R than the FK8. I don't know if it has the same magic of putting its power down like the Elantra N, but it's... I gotta drive both back to back, but it's pretty darn close. Yikes. A lot of rocks.
Big old rocks.
Yeah, those are 19-inch wheel killers right there. What an amazing, amazing drive. And I love the torque steer.
Well, it just firms up. It's kind
Yeah.
of like, you know, when you get into the throttle on a car with a rear-wheel drive car, and you can feel that rear end tighten up a little bit.
Yes.
It's like that, but in your hands.
It doesn't rip the wheel out of your hands.
No.
It's manageable. We're not talking Mazda Speed 3 levels of torque steer here. We're talking just nice suggestions of, hey, you're in a powerful front-wheel drive car.
Oh, and dual climate control, dual zone.
Yeah.
My SI does not have that.
All the comforts of home. Gosh, what's the Integra Type R or the Integra Type S gonna be like?
Heated seats.
Heated seats.
Oh god. Well.
Right there. And it tracks too. Like, it continues to track under power, under some steering lock.
Oh my goodness.
What a road. Whew, need a break physically.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I need cold water. Oh my god.
Roll the windows down.
Yeah, this is a cold shower after a drive car, guys.
All right, well, it's been a great morning in this Type R. Some really nice first impressions on this car. We're about to arrive at Sonoma Raceway, get some track driving in on this. That'll be a completely separate video. But I think the takeaway here, this Type R, Honda just got everything right. To me, this is a finely tailored suit. Everything is just tuned perfectly for the driver. This is such a great driver's car, and so wonderful that it feels like this and exists like this in 2022. We made a lot of comparisons to Porsche today, and that's the best I can come up with, because you get into a Porsche and everything just feels right. And I get into this Type R and I get the same feeling, I get the same fizz and satisfaction out of driving this thing. It's a wonderful dopamine hit, and I love it, man. It's incredible. So let's see how it is on the racetrack. Stay tuned for that video. That'll probably come out after this in a few days. So anyway, we'll park this, walk you around real quick, and we'll do some more walk-arounds once we get one back home in Michigan. Show you guys some more features inside and out. But today, didn't want to bore you too much with all the extraneous details that have already been covered on this Type R. We wanted to dive into the driving experience, see what it's like to drive casually in the city, and then take out on some good back roads, and I think we achieved that. Go check out Tedward's video. He got a great drive in this Type R with a little bit more grip than what we had to deal with, and this man knows how to handle a back road. So, all right, that's a wrap. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Heck yeah.